Hey guys, and welcome to another episode where we have conversations about God and food and lifestyle in general. A big special shout out to you guys for following through with the likes, the comments, the shares. You guys are honestly amazing for forgiving me because I've been away for a while. But today I'm excited to be on your screen and I hope you are. So get ready and let's go. Question. Have you ever heard someone tell you, oh, but I know I pray, but I just feel like God is not talking back to me? And then you proceed to try and explain, or maybe sometimes you honestly agree because there's certain things you're praying to God about and you just feel like God is silent. Well, no worries. We're going to be addressing that today. And I pray that as you listen, it might help you understand what it is you're currently trying to decipher in your mind. Okay? So I think people usually say God is silent in situations where they feel like they are not seeing results to their prayers. And you know what's worse? When they feel like they're praying way, way more than their neighbor, and their neighbor probably just prayed once and got what they're praying to God for. But you in question, or this person in question, has been praying for days and has heard nothing about that situation or about what you're praying to God for. And it's just like, you just feel frustrated. You're like, but God, I'm praying, I'm doing all the things I want to do. I'm fasting, I'm waiting on you. Why are you silent on this matter? If you've ever felt like that, or you're feeling like that, or you know someone that has, honestly, I think it's fair to say it's normal. I'm not going to be all here and say, oh, maybe you didn't pray hard enough, or maybe we're humans, we're allowed to feel emotions, right? So I honestly believe it's normal. The question is now, what do you do in those situations when you feel like God is silent? I think sometimes, just in day-to-day conversations, right? I think sometimes people see speaking as a sign of communication more than silence. Let me explain. Sometimes I'm on a call with friends, and then with some certain group of friends, when I'm talking, we're going off each other. We're talking, you're talking, we're talking, we're talking. Now, I've been in certain other conversations where I'm talking and they're quiet. And then I'm like, oh, are you here? Are you listening to me? And they're like, yeah, I'm here. I'm listening to you. You're talking. And over time, I've gotten to realize that it's not that they're being rude or they're not listening. It's just they are doing what we call active listening. They're listening and not talking back at the same time. They're waiting for you to talk. And then when you're done, if it's a conversation that needs their contribution, they would contribute, or they would agree with you, or they move on to another topic, right? So having learned that, let's apply it to when we're praying to God. I feel sometimes when we're talking to God, we want it to be just like how we're talking to our friends. We're like, God, I want you to do this. And God is like, yes, yes, I'm hearing you. And it's back and forth. And honestly, if you ask me, I don't think it's like that. Sometimes we just really need to be patient enough to, after we have spoken to God and cried to God, I think we just need to be patient enough to sit down and wait and then hear God talk back to us. We're in this AI generation where if you type an answer to ChatGPT or any co-pilot, it gives us the answer instantaneously. But I think we should be careful when we're going to God in prayer with that mindset, because God is not your slave. He's not your maid that you ask for something and he just says yes. I mean, quite all right, he loves us and he will grant us our heart desires according to his will, right? But we should not always be coming to God just to ask God for things. We should be coming to God because we actually desire to spend time with him. We desire to just talk to him the same way if you're in a relationship, or if you have best friends, sometimes it's not really like you have anything to ask them. You just want to be near them. You just want to sit in their presence. I mean, if you have those type of friends when you're on FaceTime and you guys are on FaceTime for 30 minutes and nothing is being said. Everyone is just doing what they want to do, but you're just enjoying the company of each other. That's kind of what I'm referring to. It's not always going to be God bless me, God bless me. Maybe just to sit in his presence and just to let his presence, wash over you, fill you up, or for him to just share his plans for the world with you. Are we actually patient enough to wait for that? Or sometimes also, it could be that maybe that situation you're praying to God for, God has spoken about it. Because we're so fixed on a certain way we want God to talk to us, we kind of miss those moments. And I think I said something about this in one of our previous episodes. We really need to stop trying to force God to speak to us in a certain way and just give him the freedom to talk to us however he chooses to talk to us. So I'm not saying all this to downplay on people's emotions, how they feel when God is silent, when they feel like God is not answering their prayer. I'm just saying this to encourage you. Maybe God is not silent. Maybe he's speaking in a different way than you'd expect. Or maybe he's silent and he's just listening to you and he's just enjoying. He's like, okay, you have spoken to me. Now wait to hear what I'll tell you. Or maybe his silence is also a response, is also a silent nudge to go ahead. It's important that we understand what the silence means than to just say, oh, God is silent, God is not answering my prayer. Or, God is, I've spoken to God, I've prayed about this, I'm just going to do what I want to do. But I'm curious though, I want to hear what you guys think. Have you ever had, now I can go on and on about experiences where I felt God is silent, but I want to hear from you guys. Have you ever had moments in your life when you've prayed to God about a particular situation and you felt God was silent and you're confused as to what the silence means? I want to hear what you guys have to say. I'll be waiting in the comments. I'm sure the next question you have in your mind is, something I'm hearing you, but how do I wait to hear God speak to me? We're going to address that in the next few minutes. So, how do I create space for God to speak to me? Now, I was listening to a pastor on YouTube and he gave an illustration that kind of just made perfect sense to me. And I'm hoping that as I share it with you, it makes perfect sense to you too. So he said sometimes waiting to hear from God is a case of you're going to meet a friend and you call this friend and you say, oh, I'm coming to meet you. And you get ready and you go to meet this friend. Now, this friend, unknown to you, is also coming to meet you. So you leave your house, you're going to meet the friend, and then the friend is coming to meet you. So you get to the friend's place, the friend is not there. The friend comes to your place, and the friend is also, the friend doesn't see you. And then you keep having this clash of, okay, where are you? I need to meet you. And you guys just keep missing each other's way. He said this to say this, what I'm going to tell you right now. He said that sometimes we're so busy going to different things, doing different things to seek, to hear God, to find God. Whereas all we have to do is sit and just let God meet us where we are and speak to us. And I was like, you know what, that makes sense. Some of us have this mindset where, I have to be in a very big gathering. I have to have the laying of hands of a pastor for God to speak to me. Whereas we've forgotten that this new era of grace, this new life we have in Jesus Christ gives us direct access to the Father. And what does direct access to the Father mean? It means that I can be right here now, just like how I'm sitting and looking at you on the screen, and God is talking to me right here. I don't have to go to no mountain. I don't have to go to no valley. I don't have to travel to Jerusalem to seek the face of God. I can be right here and God is speaking to me about various matters. It's the same way. You want to hear God, you want to create space for God to speak to you. Let's learn to sit still. Now, I know that can be hard because Stuff is just happening. Life is busy. You wake up in the morning, you have to go to work, you have to do this, you have to do that. Da 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 da. I get it. Trust me, I have my own fair share. But we have to. We really have to learn to sit still. God is important to you, right? He's your priority, right? So you just have to create time. It's the same way, no matter how busy you are, those of us that are in relationships or are planning to be, if you want to talk to your baba at night, maybe you still call him even if you're tired. Or if you want to talk to your baby at night, you still call. No matter how tired you are, you won't miss the midnight calls. It's the same way. You want to talk to God, is important to you, then you create time to spend to hear from him. You create time to seek his face. You don't have to go to the church. You can just sit on your chair, sit on your couch and be like, God, I'm here. And I want you to talk to me. I want to hear from you. Don't, please, I'm begging you, Ejo, don't enter the presence of God with a mindset of how you want it to go. The Spirit of God is there. Give him total expression. Give him total liberty. Give him total control. Stop trying to control this thing. Stop trying to force how you want your relationship. I mean, let God take the wheel and you just sit as a faithful servant, a faithful daughter, a faithful son, and just hear what God has to tell you. So I'm hoping this has answered your question. What was the question again? How do I create space for God to speak to me? And the answer is by sitting still, by embracing the art of sitting still, by creating time to sit still in the presence of God. Sitting still could mean, we're going to talk about this, but just a few pointers. Sitting still could mean you play a worship song and you just sit in the presence of God and you just allow it to speak over you. You just worship God however the Holy Spirit chooses to minister to you. Or you just pick up your Bible and you read. You read not because you want to preach. You read because you just want to know. There's a difference, okay? Or, honestly, it's endless. But just being intentional about it. Another pastor I was listening to said, if we can even just take our devotionals, our morning devotionals, like make it so intentional, you'll see the beauty of just hearing God talk to us in those quiet moments. Those quiet moments. I see, God is so ready to tell us things. The question is, are you ready? And are you patient enough to sit and hear what he has to tell you? Well, I pray you're going to be, and I pray you are, so that you can experience this part of getting to know God. Okay?